So there's words that are being said in the world that have never been said before, as of today. You know what those words are?
What's that?
Pro Bowl wide receiver from the Baltimore Ravens. Those are words that never been said before.
Interesting.
Let's not forget, guys, that before Zay Flowers and Lamar, right, together, wide receivers never wanted to go to Baltimore, ever. That was a place for wide receivers to go to die, essentially, or their talents would be wasted. They'd have to go somewhere else in order for them to have a terrific career at wide receiver. Steve Smith Sr. going to Baltimore kind of did his best to reverse all that. But if you remember, if you remember when Odell Beckham Jr. Went to Baltimore, and that was in the midst of them trying to make sure Lamar was as happy as possible after he demanded a trade because his contract negotiation was spinning out of control. The part of the reason why I thought they signed him, I was saying that at the time, was twofold. One, to say to Lamar, we've got somebody here for you to help, ease the load for when you hopefully do sign here. And this, two, was to basically tell people, hey, wide receivers of note will come to Baltimore, and so it was as recent as a couple years ago with Odell being in Baltimore. Last year, that's how recent it was for Baltimore to have to put a sign out in front of their football lawn and say, hey, wide receivers are welcome. Zay Flowers today, one of 9 Ravens, that's the most in the National Football League, to be named to the Pro Bowl, and he is the first Baltimore wide receiver to be a Pro Bowler. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that kid in his second year is just dynamic. He's awesome.
He is awesome. And with all due respect to him, he didn't deserve it. Brian Thomas got absolutely snubbed. Brian Thomas, more catches, more yards, more touchdowns, doubled his touchdowns. It's kind of unbelievable
but if Lamar's
that he
an
didn't
MVP,
make it.
if Lamar's an
Like,
MVP,
come on.
his wide receivers got to be so bestowed.
His wide receiver that's 16th in yards when Brian Thomas is 5th. Like, what are we doing? I hate to poo-poo on him. He's had an awesome year, but like, it's more about pumping up BTJ, who clearly has deserved it. I just don't understand how this kid gets left off because he's a rookie.
It's just rookies.
Because he's a rookie. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
So. Or not a lot of people watch Jacksonville football, and they just
it's too bad. It's really too bad.
Well, you take a look at it: 9 Ravens, 7 Lions, 6 Vikings, 6 Eagles. No Patrick Mahomes for the first time since he became the full-time starter in Kansas City. Lamar, Josh Allen, and Burrow are the AFC quarterbacks. You can't argue that one, right? You can't argue that.
You can't really. Lamar, I mean, Pat has been awesome the second half of the year, but you can't. Who are you going to take off one of those 3 guys?
Right. One Giant, no Jets. Micah Parsons made it again. TJ Jefferson. I've got a top 5 list to talk Pro Bowlers. You ready to do it?
Sure.
Top 5.
What do you got?
Top 5 most. I think. What's the wording I put on it right here? There we go. Top 5 most impressive Pro Bowl campaigns.
Oh.
Yes. So they're a little bit under the radar.
I like it.
But it's very impressive that they became Pro Bowlers today.
High 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's top 5.
Okay. In terms of statistics, this guy doesn't jump off the screen at you in the same way. I guess Zay Flowers, Chris, you just said, didn't have the same numbers as Brian Thomas, and how Brian Thomas, the rookie out of Jacksonville, might have deserved it more than Zay Flowers due to statistics. And you could potentially say the same thing for this guy. He's one of 3 Green Bay Packers to make it, and Xavier McKinney would be somebody that jumps off the screen as being highly impressive coming from the Giants. Josh Jacobs coming from the Raiders. But I'm going to go with my Wolverine right here. Rashawn Gary became a Pro Bowler for the first time today with 6.5 sacks. And what this guy has done, he basically started ascending considerably towards Pro Bowl status. If you recall, on that Thanksgiving win in Detroit last year, when he had a trio of sacks and he really started putting the pressure on a bunch of quarterbacks, and he has been just a stupendous passing threat. And for him to join Nick Bosa and Micah Parsons as the NFC edge rusher Pro Bowlers, it really means a lot. And Micah, TJ, became the first defensive player chosen in his first 4 years of his career as a Pro Bowler since Aaron Donald went to the Pro Bowl in his first 10 years of his career. So for Rashawn Gary to be mentioned in the same breath of these guys is really impressive to me. Number 4 on this list is a rookie who you can't deny. Brock Bowers is a Pro Bowler, guys, and 100. I mean, his numbers are just ridiculous. 108 receptions, 1,144 receiving yards on the season as of right now. He just broke Mike Ditka's 63-year-old record for most receiving yards by a rookie tight end. He broke Puka Nakua's rookie record for most catches by any rookie. He broke Darren Waller's franchise record for catches by anybody in a season. He's had as many catches as he's gotten thrown to him by 3 quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder. So it's not been some consistent Pro Bowl quarterback finding him. And the fact that he is the starter over Travis Kelce, well, I understand you could say didn't have the numbers and the statistics, but part of the Pro Bowl vote is a peer vote, and it's also a popular fan vote. And Travis Kelce, one would think, would have the popular fan vote. And this rookie, Brock Bowers, is the starting Pro Bowl tight end over Travis Kelce. That is impressive. Number 3 is another tight end, guys. 104 catches, his first 1,000-yard season, and he's a Walter Payton Man of the Year from the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going Trey McBride here. He is he's been spectacular. And he needs 3 more receptions to pass George Kittle and Jimmy Graham for the most receptions in his first 3 seasons all time. That's something that I would think Brock Bowers will run down in a couple of years from now. And his 1,000-yard season as a tight end for the Arizona Cardinals, the only other Arizona tight end to ever be named a Pro Bowler is a Hall of Famer, Jackie Smith. And just seeing this guy hang his head on Saturday night because the fastball that Kyler Murray threw went off of his head for a remarkable interception from Ahkello Witherspoon. I just felt for this kid that he would be such a pro and such a teammate that he would hang his head and put something like that on him. I just couldn't be more impressed, and I'm pleased that he's a Pro Bowler, and he's the guy. His other Pro Bowler is George Kittle, so that says a mouthful right there in the NFC. Number 2 on this list, guys. 6 Philadelphia Eagles are in the Pro Bowl. Now, you had mentioned before, Chris, that Cam Jurgens made it, correct?
Yes.
And he's the guy that one would think would never have made it because Jason Kelce left such large shoes to fill. And I thought about putting Cam Jurgens here as one of the 6 Pro Bowlers for the Eagles, but instead I'm going to use this spot on a linebacker, Zach Bond, being a Pro Bowler, man. And he had signed a 1-year deal to spend some time as an edge rusher and a special teamer, as he was in New England. A lot of folks, New Orleans, pardon me. A lot of folks thought that he would be that for Philadelphia. Certainly since in the 3 years he had with the Saints, 2 sacks and 88 tackles in 3 years with the Saints. This year, for the Philadelphia Eagles, 3.5 sacks, 151 tackles. That's 4th in the NFL. He's had a fumble recovery, an interception, and 5 forced fumbles. He's 3 days after his 28th birthday. So he's not some young spring chicken.
Right.
And the middle linebackers for the NFC in the Pro Bowl are Fred Warner and this guy who the Eagles signed to a $1.6 million deal. And the other middle linebackers in the AFC are Roquan Smith and Zaire Franklin. Zach Bond has put himself in some really select company, and that is beyond impressive. He's number 2 on my list.
Oh, Howie Roseman made a great deal? Shocker.
Yeah, I know, right? And Jalen Carter is a first-time Pro Bowler, but that, I got to... to be honest, is kind of expected. Zach Bond has just been a revelation since
he's been great.
Opening night when he ended the night for the Packers in Brazil. And everyone's like, who the hell is this guy? Well, he's a Pro Bowl, first-team Pro Bowler. It's really unbelievable. Number one on the list, though, I think is obvious. It's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is an NFC quarterback Pro Bowler. 68% of his passes have been completed, 4,153 yards, 35 touchdowns. He leads the NFL with 13 games of 100 or passer rating or better. If he does that against the Lions, he would tie Aaron Rodgers for the single-season record there. What he has done in his opportunity for the Minnesota Vikings is beyond impressive, and he tops my top 5 Pro Bowlers that are most impressive.
All right, we'll get one more.
This one's for you, TJ, for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm serious on this one, and I think you think you know what I'm doing right now, right? You think I'm going to pop up the squirrel here?
Yeah, man, I was waiting for it. Come on,
I am not doing that.
Delicious, seriously.
No, I am not doing that. I'm going with the guy who's allowed just 10 pressures in one-on-one pass blocking matchups for a 3.5% pressure rate. When this guy got drafted, everyone's thinking, why the hell are they doing this? This kid out of Tulsa, why are they using a first-round draft choice on Tyler Smith? And he has just been. He's been awesome. He's been one of the best left guards in the National Football League. He has done exactly what they thought he could do, and very few people thought he could do right now. Tyler Smith's a Pro Bowler, and I think that is impressive, TJ Jefferson.
I agree.
See? No squirrel.
I'm amazed.
That was real.
I got to be honest with you.
The squirrel.
I'm truly amazed. I expected a band to come in or some stupid balloons or some flowers to pop up, and they didn't.
I don't know. That may be what Carl Anthony Towns has cooked up for you.
Oh, God.
But,
here.
No, there you go. But
one of my favorites, the squirrel.
I'll tell you, Tyler Smith has been a revelation for, and certainly with, Zach Martin going out and going down and that offensive line having a lot of moving parts. Yeah. That guy he's been an anchor sitting right there in the interior. So that's my top 5 list.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.